Intros out. So today, Jeremy Knight, your favorite Austin realtor. Drop comments where you're coming in from. We are going to need lots of comments tonight in order to keep rolling. Our friend Ian is no longer with us. He left the show. I'm just kidding. He's out doing what Ian does, which is he travels the world. He sells real estate and then travels the world. So he is not here. He's in Detroit doing something with Rocket Mortgage or something like that. I have no idea. He's actually watching a baseball game as we speak or something like that. So drop comment where you're coming in from. I got a lot to get to tonight. I am going to go in. There we go. Texas, baby. And Mark, good to see you, bud. We're going to go through a couple weeks ago. I was talking on the channel about somebody said everybody's leaving Austin. I actually thought that was pretty interesting. So I'm going to look and bring up some stats on the amount of people moving from Austin, leaving Austin, and go over some of that good stuff with you. If you've been a long time subscriber, drop a comment. I want to hear from you. We're going to get going here in just a second. It has been a wild couple of weeks. So last week we were going to do the channel last week. And I totally forgot that I was in Colorado Springs. I gave a talk to a bunch of realtors back in Colorado Springs. And the week before that, we had a big event in the Austin area, which is great. So we've been working hard, bringing agents to our brokerage, believe it or not. So this was actually gifted to me, somebody that attended that event. Our motto at our brokerage is work hard, be kind. Frozie in Houston, appreciate the gift. She sent that to me. So, all right. So today I am going to go through the numbers. People are leaving Austin. They're not as high on Austin. Haha. No pun intended. They're not as high on Austin. Coming from Colorado Springs, that made me giggle like a schoolgirl. But drop a comment below. Are you still high on Austin, Texas? I want to hear from you in the comments. I don't see Mark here today. So Mark must know that Ian wasn't going to be here and didn't want to come, I guess. All right. So let's roll with this. I don't like that. Let's give me a better screen here. Boom. All right. That works. All right. So outside Austin city limits, I like this because it actually breaks down what's happening in Austin. So it basically says Austin is still America's fastest growing city, according to the census and the MSA population, with a staggering 84% between 2000 and 2020. But that has died off recently. What I found really interesting about this, it says the Austin area move-in and move-out ratio, which reached a high of 2.3 in January 2021, but has nosedived since June 2022, according to this website. The inflow to outflow ratio of searches for moves into Austin hit a negative territory in September 2022 and ended this last year at 1.26, a far cry from a city gaudy positive numbers. If you're in Austin and you're thinking about leaving Austin, drop a comment as to why. Don't worry, Aaron is indeed here. Thank you, Aaron. A primary reason for the slowdown, and this is what they're saying, do you agree with this or not? Primary reason for the slowdown and interest in moving to Austin area has to do with fast rising costs. I could have told you that. And home prices. The U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development says that Austin is the most expensive city to build a new home in. What's interesting about this, what I find really interesting is we talk about, am I a little too high here? There we go. We keep talking about unaffordability in the Austin area. And part of the thing that I keep saying is the reason why we have unaffordability is the fact that the cost for building in Austin is so incredibly expensive and takes so long. I have a developer I'm working with that has 73 units that they're going to be putting online here. And the 73 units, it's taken them 4 years to be able to get this ready. And that's through permitting and all that stuff. So there's so much red tape to go through when you're, what happened? I don't know what happened there. All right. Are you still there? I can't tell if it ended or not. It's weird. Never seen this. Weird. Austin is still very affordable. People are just dumb. That's what Aaron says. Let's go back to this. So Wow, tonight is just put out a video yesterday and man, it was just not my day to do a video. So it came out pretty interesting. All right. The timeline of moves to and from Austin. So here's what it's looking like. So this is over the last couple of years. We saw a really big high of people wanting to move in January 2021 and then move outs. So we still have more people moving in than moving out, but barely. I mean, look at the move ins. You're looking at 420 versus 317. And then right now, in fact, we crossed that line a little bit here back in October 2022. We had a lot more people leaving in October. I remember selling a lot of homes in that time frame. Is it just that I don't have the screen long enough? There we go. Now I can see you. There you go. So, but this is as of January. I've had a lot of people reach out to me. So if people are thinking about leaving, in the comments, write the reasons why you're thinking about leaving, because this is kind of what we're going to talk about today. From January 2020 to 2021, Austin saw a robust positive search numbers. Basically, we just talked about that. All right, Austin moving trends. I thought this was pretty interesting here. The interest of moving into Austin slowed in 2022, but some suburban areas in the MSA continue to see hotspots. Many Austin zip codes saw negative inflow to outflow ratios in search. Aaron wants to know which one they are. Aaron wants to know which one they are. Many Austin zip codes saw negative inflow, and San Marcos stayed attractive for many San Marcos. I don't know how San Marcos, but Leander, Georgetown, San Marcos are saying. What I found interesting, so here's their chart for the areas. They made no mention of Dripping Springs, but Dripping Springs is, unless they just decided Dripping Springs wasn't part of it, but Dripping Springs, even deep into 2022, was really high on the move into. Look at the move out, Manor. People are moving out of Manor. If you're bought in Manor, what are the reasons why you are leaving Manor? I'm curious. Maybe we'll answer some of those questions. Austin on the east side, 78754. But look at this little spot down here, 78701. So this is like right in the heart of downtown. In fact, I did this differently. So let me see if I can pull up 78701 for you so you can see what that looks like. 78701 is literally downtown. So people are more excited to move downtown Austin than anywhere else in and around the Austin area. But I mean, San Marcos, I just don't see San Marcos being that hot of an area for people to move into. But Leander, obviously, Liberty Hill, you have Georgetown. They did two different parts of Georgetown. Hutto was still high on the list. Lago Vista, you had a lot of people net demigration, the opposite of migration. Let's see. Aaron says, so let's take cars, a new nice truck in like the 80s instead of a used car for 11K. You say 69,000 for your down payment. There you go. So pretty interesting on this part of it. But here are the top 5 move-in zip codes were Austin with 2.06, 78701. You have Leander, 78641. Liberty Hill, 78642, Georgetown, and Georgetown. So it looks like Georgetown was pretty much the place people were moving to. Austin is not affordable, is what Dan Christopher says. Austin is not affordable. I keep seeing homes that would normally be 120K to 350K selling for 500K to 700K. The homes are not very attractive either. They look like they were mobile home interiors. I don't know that that's the truth. Curious if anybody agrees with Don Christopher there. Yeah, what's interesting about that take is that I'm seeing prices below 2021 numbers. I'll try to bring up this chart. I did this a different way today, and I don't like how I did it. So I'll bring up a chart showing where we are below those prices. In fact, as I do that, why don't I just pull that up? So, like I said, I've seen prices dip below 2021 numbers. So for everybody saying that we're so unaffordable, we're really, I keep saying that we're unaffordable because of interest rates, not because of prices in Austin. Because if people were paying these prices back then, back in 2021, and they were able to afford it, a lot of that had to do with interest rates being so cheap. I mean, what do you think about that? Let me add this. Where are we? Remove percent. Man, I am not. I wish Ian was here. It'd make it a lot easier on me. Slides. No. Stop screen. Let's try this. All right. Let's go share screen. Window. Here. Boom. Now, I haven't charted this one in a while, but these are my Austin numbers. I keep pulling these numbers. Here's the Austin numbers. We are down to 541, which is literally at where we were in 2021. And then we dipped back down in 2021 and came back. Are you on there? Yeah, perfect. So prices are down to 2021 numbers, yet, and we can go through some of the zip codes. I've gone through zip codes in the past. If you want to look at zip codes here in a minute, we can look at zip codes again. But yeah, Aaron says, yeah, I call it BS. I have a nice 1,500 square foot smart starter home in a neighborhood for 370K. Edward says, exactly. I enjoy nice things in moderation, and depreciable assets is not where I'm putting my money. Yeah, I call BS. Okay, he says the same thing twice. Perfect. So, okay. So, but still, we are back down to 2021 numbers. What's the difference is interest rates are extremely high. I mean, they're at 7.65% today. So that's really what's making things more unaffordable for most people when they are looking to buy. Let me get this out of here and end that. I would like to says, hi, Jeremy. I would like to see the retaliate count for the past year and a half. I saw a lot of homes relisted multiple times. I don't know which one he's talking about as far as that goes. Let's see. Man, this is not good TV. There we go. We're going to do it this way. It's just easier for me to manage this way. Here we go. Okay. So let's talk about some of the reasons why people are choosing to, or where people are moving from, which cities are moving to and from Austin. So what's interesting is I like this chart. So the cities that are moving to Austin still heavily are San Jose, San Francisco, Chicago. We're having a net going out to Nashville. People are still moving in from Florida. So if you look at the numbers here, in and out. And we go down here, Denver is the one area. What's interesting, and I want to hear from you, is what I heard recently from a few people was the reason why they're wanting to move from Austin was because of the political landscape in Texas. I don't have any comments on that, but if you think people are moving out because of the political landscape in Texas, I want to hear from you in the comments. I'm getting asked, how was Pflugerville? We can look at Pflugerville's numbers. A bunch of homes in our neighborhood don't sell for a long time and switched to lease, all occupied now. Yeah. So, and you're going to see that all those people, though, it's interesting. If they're leasing right now, they're going to put their house on the market again in the wrong time of the market, because it's going to take a year. They're going to put it on the market August of next year, September of next year, run into the same darn problems, because that's what happened. I mean, look, the numbers don't lie on what happens the last half of the year. Still making bad. Oh my God. Ian, wish you were here and make it easier on me. I need somebody to run the back end of this for me. That would make it so much easier. I mean, look, again, prices are down to 2021 numbers. That's kind of what I wanted to show there. All right, perfect. So Edward, I moved from California because of horrible quality of life and because of the political landscape. Edward, I'd be curious to know what your take is right now. Come on, come all, bring your dollars and enjoy a better quality of life. That's what he's saying about the Austin area now, I guess. Political situation, Jan Cox says, political situation would definitely eject some people to Colorado in the closest bluish purple state. And that's what it was interesting to me, not that that's a bad thing, but people were telling me that they want to move to a blue state, that they want to move out of Texas for that reason. So I was just curious how many other people are feeling that same way. I mean, as a lot of people, does that mean Texas goes back and turns red? I don't know. You tell me in the comment section. All right. So, but yeah, so we're still seeing a lot of people move from or to Colorado from here. People are moving back to New York. They're moving back to Portland. They're moving back to Washington State. They're moving back to Seattle from Austin, but they're still moving in from San Jose, moving in from Chicago. Still looks like that. There's still people moving in from Nashville as a positive there. Houston, people are moving in into out. Oh, so yeah. So I did that backwards, I think. No, I did that right. Here are the top cities moving into Austin in 2022: San Jose, San Francisco, Chicago, Nashville, Houston. They're exiting to Denver, New York. I read that right. Portland, Washington, and Raleigh, North Carolina. Curious if any of you are looking to move to Raleigh. I'm doing some business in Raleigh right now, so just curious where you at on that. Dan says, can easily get back to visit family. Dripping Springs ISD cut taxes by 18%. Wow, I'm glad I'm in Dripping Springs. I'm very interested in what happens when the Fed cuts rates. We'll see what happens there. I don't know when that's going to be or if that's going to happen. So, all right. So, what are the reasons why people are leaving? I found a couple interesting articles why people have decided to leave Austin. And here's a list. Is a 14 list, 14 numbers here, 14 reasons. You tell me. The only constant is change. Not heard of anyone. I have not heard of anyone I know wanting to leave Texas due to political landscape. That is a great state to live in. Thank you. Boom. Just curious, because I'm hearing this a lot now. So I'm just curious. Dallas mayor just switched parties. Okay, that's interesting. And a bunch of tech moving to North Carolina as a new expansion zone. Yep. All right. So this is what they're saying. Because Austin's changing so much, several Austin residents commented that they moved to the city for its smaller size and vibrant art scene. As Austin grows in popularity, has become more expensive and more of a metropolitan. Money, right? Obviously, some newer transplants reject or regret moving because of how expensive everything in Austin is, noting that it is not much fun city when you can't afford to do anything. I would imagine that New York City would be even more expensive. Falling apart, one of the local noted that how often infrastructure is crumbling. I haven't seen anything really crumble, but okay. With seemingly no plan to replace it. They just did raise the budget $500 million. So they also cite poor public transportation, poorly funded social programs, and the threat of grid failures. I love that everybody's talking about grid failures. We just had the hottest summer, and I don't hear anybody complaining about brownouts. Oh, they didn't. So we just had the hottest summer. So everybody complaining about that as using it as a political tool. After visiting a friend in Los Angeles, one Austin local noted that their hometown's attitude. So the thing was here, not so friendly neighbors. Interesting. Hey, are you experiencing not so friendly neighbors? Drop a comment below. I want to hear that. After visiting a friend, not really work. I don't like, okay. Get this crap out of here. After visiting a friend, they said that the attitude is becoming more SoCal-like. They claim that people are not as friendly and down to earth. I don't know if that's still true. What do you think? Are people not as friendly and down to earth? Keep Austin weird. One poster lamented how quirky boutiques and local mom and pop shops are being run out of business by larger chains. They're being run out by taxes. They're not being run out by larger chains. They're being run out by taxes because for business owners, very expensive to run a business here. What do you think on that? Drop a comment below. Should I stay or should I go now? As Austin residents pointed out, how the cost of living has skyrocketed in a few years. Plain apartments with no upgrades have more than doubled. Aaron, what do you think about this? Have more than doubled their rent, and basic homes have ballooned to nearly 3 times their value. That's come down a little bit. This article was earlier this year. So it's come down a little bit. And we've talked about it on this channel that we've seen the rental rates come down as well. So single and ready to mingle. One commenter pointed out that Austin is a great town for single people with plenty of money. However, they say they're looking to start a family, should probably move elsewhere, citing a lack of reproductive rights and a lack of reproductive rights and expensive housing market and poor education system and labor laws. Okay. I find that interesting. Okay. Too hot to handle. Yeah, it's hot. It was the hottest summer on record here for sure. Unsavory food scene. I think a lot of people would start to disagree with this. We've had some really great people bring some really great foods in here. Aaron, what do you think? Is it getting better? Mark, is it getting better? What do you think? You moved to Austin for jobs, in my opinion, is what Aaron says, and not for the single life, right, Aaron? After moving to the city, one Austin transplant noticed the food scene has gone downhill. I don't know that that's true. Trendy restaurants change an arm and a leg for what, or charge an arm and a leg for what they claim is a lesser quality meal. I don't know. I just went to the Proper the other night. Proper is amazing. Getting around town. All right. Traffic sucks. We know that. Feeling trashy. Interesting. More than one local complained that out of control littering is around the city, and that has to do with our homeless issue, unhoused issue. How do you want to say that? Fixer upper. Several residents on both sides of the political spectrum commented that the state and city government's inability to solve almost any problem, from healthcare to water supply issues to crumbling infrastructure. Uh, yeah, I'm gonna curious what you agree. Uh, he says, I agree. Although the quality of life is great here in Georgetown. Georgetown is nice. Yep. I mean, Georgetown is nice. I don't disagree there. Okay. So I find a lot of these pretty almost comical for the most part. Because the reality is what city is run, both people on the spectrum said that. And I mean, I call this out on the channel all the time. I don't think the city's run very well personally, but I think it's interesting that they cited healthcare, water supply issues, and crumbling infrastructure. They're constantly doing road work out here. I don't know that that's necessarily crumbling. After moving from Seattle, one resident, okay, I can tell where this is going to go. The rat race. After moving from Seattle, one new resident's biggest complaint was the other drivers. They cited being stuck behind someone for 15 miles per hour under the posted speed limit. Yeah, traffic sucks. It sucks really bad. Unrealistic expectations. I think this is why everybody's answering these questions. If you notice on this channel, I've talked about all of these issues. The one person who's not been selling Austin and been honest with you, then I get called all these mean things on the internet because I'm the one actually giving you like real life, like what to expect. I've been giving you all these things so people don't make unrealistic expectations. But here we go. One poster nicely summed up the source of most people's regret over moving to Austin. Those who say they regret it are universally expecting Austin to be something other than Austin. In short, they suggest appreciating the uh, the forest for the trees, and don't try to compare the city to elsewhere. I think that's fair to say. 25 most expensive American cities, I think, is the next one. Okay. So I love this one too. So this is somebody who moved from Austin to New York, and they've been there 4 years. And a lot of the things that they're talking about comparing New York to Austin, they basically said that they miss Austin. And so I would imagine if you lived in Austin, moved to New York, I'm sure you loved it for a while and then probably aren't loving it as more. Drop some comments below. I want to hear if more people are loving or hating Austin. I want to hear from you. I could keep going on because there's so many new articles like this guy right here, Nomad Matt. He basically said, after 8 years in Austin, I'm leaving and heading back to New York full time. Okay. I would imagine if you lived in New York, I mean, it's totally different cities. A lot of what he said is that he didn't find the city downtown as vibrant as he thought it would. I mean, obviously, if you're comparing it to New York, it's not the same vibrancy. So I joined a social club downtown, and I go downtown all the time now. I really like downtown Austin now, but I also live out in Dripping Springs. So obviously for me, it's not somewhere I'm at every single day. Let's read some of these questions here. Poor education system. I love hearing that. My kids experience far a worse education in California, when classrooms are 33-1 in California versus 18 to 22-1 here in Texas. I'll take Texas for my kids any day of the week. Thanks, Edward. Water issues are a major concern here. I'm not discounting that they're a major concern, especially when we've had a drought this year. I just find some people's reason for that not to be actual genuine. I love living in South Austin. Definitely would move back. Trevon Tate, thank you, bud. Brett, Jeremy, love to hear your reasons for moving out of Austin to Dripping Springs. I did a whole video on this, Brett. I did a whole video on this, breaking down the reasons why. I can go through it real quick if y'all would like. Drop a comment if you want to hear why I left Austin for Dripping Springs. I can rehash that real quick. Wait a quick minute. Teachers are bailing out. Can't afford to live here. It's all over the local news. Okay, well, drop a link in the comments and I'll pull it up and we can chat about it. All of America feels the same. It's all about the jobs. No, it's all right, Brett. Don't worry, man. I don't mind. Definitely not a poor education system here. California was terrible and not family friendly or conducive to raising a family. I mean, been in Austin my whole life. Can't wait for more of these guys to move. Laugh out loud. Move in or move out. I want to hear Supreme Kurt, move in or move out. So yeah, so here's the reasons why, real quick. My camera is like really weird today. There we go. I can't get it to stay straight. Whatever. I got a non-straight camera today. So, all right. So here's the deal. Why move from Austin to Dripping Springs? A lot of it came down to school districts. I loved being close to Austin. We lived in Circle C. It was great. A lot of things with the schools in Austin have changed and just didn't fit what I wanted. And so primarily it all comes down to schools. I like Dripping Springs as well because I have a lot more space. My neighbors here are a heck of a lot friendlier than they were in Circle C. We have literally last night in my neighborhood, we were playing pickleball. We have tennis courts, and we made it a pickleball course. We were playing pickleball from literally 7:30 last night to midnight. I have a softball league that people play in. Everybody's friendly. Poker night once a month. We have poker night, and I'm not a big poker player. Please don't invite me to poker. I'll just sit there, smoke cigars, and sit in the corner. I do not play poker very well, but those are the reasons why. I mean, I have more space here. It's a little bit greener here. My neighbors are friendlier here in Dripping Springs. So Kurt or Brett says, I kind of remember it was about schools. Yeah, it had everything to do about schools primarily. ASD was failing what I wanted. So if you've moved out of Austin, drop a comment below as to why you've moved out. Here's the other 9 reasons. Close. I think this is just going to be a rehash. Really, let me look before cost of living is a steady rising, terrible traffic. Nailed it. Bureaucracy. I think they stole the same list. Cedar fever. Here's a good one. All right, let's add this. So cedar fever, if you've ever experienced cedar fever before, count yourself lucky. It's an incredibly unpleasant condition that affects thousands of people yearly. Cedar fever is terrible. One thing that I found, so over the last 6-7 months, I quit drinking completely. And I've noticed I was always having sinus problems. Now I'm having a little less sinus problems. I'm feeling better. I work out. I've lost 40 pounds. So all of those things definitely help. So I don't know if it was 100% cedar fever, but radical disparities in access to healthcare and education. Drop a comment below. Do you think there's radical disparities in access to healthcare, education, etc.? This is what it says. Minority groups in Austin face numerous barriers. So I guess it should have said, okay, I guess it does say racial disparities. Okay. Minority groups in Austin face numerous barriers to accessing quality healthcare due to factors such as lack of insurance coverage, low income, and fewer medical facilities in their neighborhood. As such, they are often more likely to live in impoverished neighborhoods with fewer healthcare facilities or have limited transportation options. I mean, Austin has limited transportation options in general. So I guess that's pretty much like, there ain't no transportation options in Circle C, I'll tell you that. This lack of accessibility leads to poor health outcomes for higher rates of chronic disease. Drop a comment if you not believe, but agree with any of that. Dying art scene. Do people believe that there's a dying art scene? I think there's still rich art scene, but yeah, I could see where people are getting priced out. There are artists that are probably struggling artists, so they're leaving. One of the things that this girl said was she thought that the musicians were more accessible. Like if you went to art to shows, people were more friendly. The artists were more friendly. See what they say. California resident here. Let's get me to solo. Here we go. California resident here. Also used to live in Austin. Considering the move back. Don't love the whole push in California for imposing certain gender ideologies and younger kids. I've heard people complain about that. Absolutely. Historically, it's way out of whack for Austin. Let me see, maybe. Or are we talking about the same thing? Aaron, it's not difficult. Just look at household median incomes. Well, we talked about household median incomes for everyone around the board dropped $2,000 per year from, was it $76,000 per household down to $74,000 per household. So interesting there. So natives are going to complain. About what? About what? Natives are going to complain about what? I'm curious. Sorry, I'm trying to read and do three things at once. So I'm not being sarcastic when I ask what you're talking about. I'm trying to read three things at once. So please don't take it I'm being sarcastic. I'm not. Brett, come back to Texas. We miss you, from Aaron. Love Aaron. Hearts emojis. Brett, that's an absolute deal killer for me. Brett says, oh, yeah, that was the California thing. Okay. I got to stay away from those things. Unfortunately, I can't chat about those things. You get canceled for, I mean, I probably put up that thing and YouTube demonetizes me and then I get canceled. I don't need that. Of course, people are leaving. You can't even keep Ian in Texas. It's funny because Ian and I were both in Colorado a week ago. He was on a panel talking about solo agents. I had my own talk about just using different social medias and how to build an audience, like what we're doing here. So it's kind of funny. And now he's in Detroit with the new Dripping Springs ISD tax cut. There are neighborhoods with 1.68 tax rate, good for people. I hope that's the case, because what's interesting is I bought an investment property recently. It was at 1.8. If they did drop it, that takes me down to 1.6. So hopefully that means I can actually drop my, because we haven't even got it rented yet. I bought it. I'm just holding on to it, which is sitting there. So we will rent it soon. I just wasn't in a rush to go find a tenant. I didn't need to. I bought it cash. Interesting. Why I would do that? Don't know. Yeah, I know we can't talk about it. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. Someone famous recently got canceled. Everyone, natives. Okay. So back to Dan's point, natives who have median incomes here, not the new incoming high paid tech jobs, which are mostly worker relocations from California, are going to complain about the cost of living. Okay. I understand now, Dan. I agree with you. Yeah. So I've helped quite a few people that live. I think the people are going to see this the most are people that this article was just talking about, people that live in not as affluent neighborhoods, right? I have a lot of clients that we've helped in those non-affluent communities where we've sold their properties. They've moved out of Austin because it wasn't affordable. And so I could see why teachers aren't able to afford things. What's interesting is like Dripping Springs, there is areas that teachers can't afford homes in the $500,000 range, which still is not cheap, but they have homes for $350, $400, $500 out closer to Dripping Springs where the schools would be. So there's still availability. And even if you're moving to like Kyle, Buda, maybe not in Austin proper, but there are homes, and I can pull up in a second if you want to see it, in the 350 to in the 300 price point. I mean, I've showed it on the channel in the past. So here we go. Dan Cox, I live a good life. I spend $4,800 a month. Any updates on Esperanza lawsuit? I don't have any updates on that. I saw that. I did a video on Esperanza. It's not, so to my knowledge, finance guy, it is one of the builders in Esperanza, not the whole community in Esperanza. You tell me if I'm wrong there. I'm curious if you know more than I do about this. I believe the lawsuit is with Terrata Homes, which is LGI. It's like their fancy upgraded version. So I believe that's what the lawsuit is stemming from, is with the builder there. There is other builders in that neighborhood. So there are other options in that area. If you'd like to reach out to me and consult, we can definitely sit and consult. We work with a lot of clients buying in all these areas. The only thing I'm aware of is Terrata Homes having issue. Yes, correct. So, and in that video, somebody had, maybe it was you that had commented on that video. I actually wrote in the comment section how I regretted doing a video for that builder. I regretted it. Didn't know about the lawsuit when I did it. I did both builders that were in there. I do like the other builder that's in there. I didn't necessarily care for Terrata Homes. That's just a personal thing for me. Not that, and obviously they're in the middle of a lawsuit. So I don't know, what's happening with that. Okay. Edward says, agree with you, Dan. My wife and I do very well, and I would not want to be buying in today's market. I totally understand that. Thankfully, we bought our 3 properties for $275 to $375. You bought 3 properties in Austin. Sweet. If you did, that's great. Aaron says, well, that is a thing. Kids cost $500K a piece. You just overspent on an expense. Interesting. Aaron, someone has to have kids. The people moving here aren't. Y'all are getting spicy over here. I love it. Dan Cox, and I don't blame them. Sucks for families that had to deal with that. Yeah. They had to deal with the lawsuit. No, I mean, this isn't the first builder that I've seen get sued. I've seen Lennar get sued. I've seen other builders get sued. In fact, Lennar is still going through a lawsuit in the east side. And I think it was, God, who was the builder? They merged. They've merged into like three different things. Oh, geez. It was down in Buda. I think I want to say it was Whisper Hollow. I want to say it was Meritage, but it was the builder. It wasn't Meritage. God, who was that? They're still going through a lawsuit. So the one in East Austin's about foundations. I have to double check to see what the Esperanza lawsuit with LGI is. My experience with LGI hasn't always felt the greatest. And so dealing with Terrata Homes just felt the same level of, and Terrata was before that was Buffington Homes, and Buffington Homes was a great builder. Now Village Builders did the same thing. They got bought out by Lennar, and you buy these Lennar homes that are $900 to $1 million. It's the same thing with these Terrata homes, and you're still getting that Lennar builder building them. So they've just kind of wrapped some people into it. So let's see where we go from here. Aaron, thanks, and would love to move back definitely to Dripping Springs, but there's not skate parks there. Brett, bring a skate park, bud. I'll help you get a skate park in the Austin area or in Dripping Springs. I would love that. There's Dripping Springs has a lot of great things to offer. I think there's a lot of infrastructure things that still need to go in. And so for me, I bought in here with a long-term play, right? I could see that there's a lot of growth coming this way. The difference is Dripping Springs really they didn't really embrace the growth. And part of it was because they were trying to fix the water treatment plant and some politics in there. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, I would definitely recommend if you're looking specifically for schools. I did a video this week actually that was talking about Parton Ranch. Parton Ranch is in the Dripping Springs ISD. The Dripping Springs ISD is rated an A+. So, but I also did a video a week ago about Sweetwater, and Sweetwater is rated an A. And I just heard some people complaining about Lake Travis schools the other day. What they were saying, I don't really remember, but I think you're referring to Heritage in Dripping Springs for under 500K. Yes, that is one. There's another one as well. Builders are tough because the construction manager on site makes a difference. And this is what I really, really try to explain to people. Look, I hear of so many people that'll use this channel and then go to new construction and buy a home without an agent, and they think they're saving money. You're not saving money. Trust me when I say this, you're not saving money. And this is not a ploy to get you to use me. Being honest with you, I have so many people that'll call me and say, hey, I just went under contract with this builder. I'm running into these issues. Can you help me? The answer is heck no, I can't help you. I'm not on that contract. I'm not part of that. And I would be breaking my fiduciary duties if I gave you advice on that. I cannot. And so then I've actually had people from this channel that bought with big time home builders. In fact, Eileen and I, in a couple of weeks, we have a client that's closing with a very high production builder. That's a high quality builder, high quality, quote unquote. And the buyer has not been happy with them. And my wife has been dealing with, not I want to say dealing with, but having to go to the builder almost every day to get things fixed, to make sure they get fixed. And if you were doing that on your own, it would take a lot of time away from your business for you to spend the time to do that and have to go through and deal with the builder. So you are saving time. On top of that, you're saving money, because I have seen so many people that get done with a home and then end up on a lawsuit later. It happens. I mean, we've talked about it on this channel. So you're not saving money by not using an agent. That's coming from a realtor. I understand how that sounds. I have bought and sold my own homes. I bought and sold my own new build homes. And trust me, I run into problems every time. Good thing my wife's a realtor, because my wife is there calming me down and stepping in when I'm yelling at the builder as a consumer. So imagine you're yelling at the builder going nowhere, and then you have a cool, calm-headed real estate agent that can come in and negotiate the things for you because they don't have the personal attachment that you have. Think about it. You are purchasing that home. It is a big purchase for you. It takes a lot of emotions. you need somebody who's on your side who represents you. The builder does not represent you. They represent the builder. That rep represents the builder. They get a paycheck. They're going to tell you everything you want to hear. They will. They will. All right. Brett says, I saw the Parton Ranch one. Great video. If you like that one, I got a couple other neighborhoods I think you'll like better. All right. Nilanjan Nanj. Nailed it. Nailed it. Kyle versus Manor versus Liberty Hill. Please suggest which location to choose. My work is at Riata Vista Circle. Need good school with potential appreciation to the property in a few years. This is a question that I personally meet with my clients about and go over these questions in very deep detail. So I'm going to tell you that if you were to use us, we're going to go into this in high detail and give you a lot of really good information. Off the cuff, here's what I'll say. Kyle has a lot of growth coming there. Manor, we just showed you an article. People are moving out of Manor and people are moving to Liberty Hill and people are moving more towards Kyle. In fact, let me bring it back up. I'll show you. I will show you just because that's what I do. But people pay me for the good information. Being honest with you. All right, here we go. Look, here's the deal. You're asking me about Kyle. Here's Kyle. People, it's almost a wash. You're looking at Manor and Liberty Hill. So, what do you think? What do you think? All right, Aaron, look, a good agent is going to do 10 million a year in sales in a year in real estate. If you think you know better when you have, here's the thing is Aaron could do this on his own. Aaron has multiple properties. He's using Ian. He's on multiple properties. So look, a good agent is going to do 10 million a year in sales. We do way more than that, but that's good. In sales a year in real estate. I mean, we did about 55 million last year, just my wife and I. If you think you know better when you have bought 2 homes ever, you are a fool and sorry. Yeah. Liberty Hill is so far and nothing there. Bad schools. No idea why people are moving there. See, you're getting the answer in the comments too. So part of Liberty Hill schools go to different school districts. So it depends on where you live. And this guy lives in Liberty Hill or does a lot of business in Liberty Hill. But this comment is not wrong. Finance guy, you are not wrong. Manor have high property taxes. I'm curious to see what finance guy says about Kyle. Now drop a comment about Kyle, finance guy. This isn't great. Doing all the work for me today, bud. Toll costs alone would bury Liberty Hill. Some of the highest costs per mile in the county. It's perplexing why people move there. I love it. You guys are saying it for me. Thank you. I appreciate that. Ian has saved me money by telling me I'm wrong. Aaron, I will save you money and tell you you're wrong too. Just kidding. Ian's a man. I love that guy. All right. Yeah, I'm curious. So for those wondering about Liberty Hill, my biggest concerns so the question up here, and I want people in the comments to answer, Kyle versus Manor versus Liberty Hill. It's Liberty Hill, not Liberty Hills, but it's okay. I would say Kyle has done a lot about bringing growth. We've had the mayor of Kyle on here. They've done a lot for growth, but you will run into the same problems you run into both of those areas, high property taxes, high property tax rates. Depending on where you are, schools can be hit and miss. So look at niche.com for that. And I think all 3 of these areas, I mean, what are the reasons why you're specifically looking and targeting these 3 areas? I could give you better areas than these 3 areas to look at. I could give you a lot better areas. All right. Kyle's exploding with growth. Tesla expanding, lower home prices. Wink, wink. I don't know. I do not disagree. I'm still big on Hutto for the long term for rentals outside of Austin. All right, let's look at that. I honestly don't disagree with this comment, Larry. So this is the map on let's see, Hutto's right here. So Hutto is still seeing a net positive migration in. I think there's a lot going on for Hutto. I think the proximity to what's happening with the So number one, in Hutto, you're still not too far from the Tech Ridge area. You have the new Samsung plant going in up near Taylor. So that's not far from Hutto. Hutto has a lot going for it. Hutto has actually a lot going for it. I'm surprised Bee Cave is negative. Interesting. Kyle, not great ISD either. I lightly said that. I got to be careful about what I say on these channels. Sometimes people write nasty comments later. It depends on your time horizon. If you're willing to wait 10 years, you will do great. I think, oh yeah, that's what Aaron's saying about Larry. Yeah, perfect. One thing I've talked about on this channel in the past, and y'all seem to like, is when I go over the numbers. I got about 10 minutes here. I go over the numbers that came through as far as positive, negative for different zip codes, different areas. So if you want to know what area sell what year over year for August, drop that area in and I might tell you. Give me a zip code or an area. If I worked in Tata Vista, I would be looking at Round Rock, good schools, and I've been seeing some great prices in their area lately. I agree. All right, so I'm looking at the market numbers that come out, and it's interesting. There are zip codes that saw positive year-over-year numbers. There are ones that saw negative year-over-year numbers. Thinking about potentially doing a full video on this. What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts? Interesting. Let me look. See one of my favorite zip codes. 787. Let's go. 78. Let's go 78660. 78660. Popular zip code. What do you think? Oh, okay. People are commenting. Sorry, I didn't see this. Mary, how's it going? Haven't seen you in a while. Welcome back. Look at that one. 78665 Round Rock. And Jeremy, waiting for your thoughts on zip codes. Nothing is selling in Carmel. I think when the market unfreezes, we'll see greater drops in zip codes. Yeah, I actually don't disagree. I think it's interesting. Like rates just hit 7.65%. It would actually, I was listening to somebody's thought on if we actually had a government shutdown in what, 3 days, that interest rates would fall. And so they were almost cheering a government shutdown. I thought that was an interesting take, super hot take. I don't ever cheer for things to shut down. I do cheer for saving money. So any way we can save money, I guess would be good. Brett says, I'm going to switch up the vibe for fun. If you were thinking of buying a starter home and turning it into a rental a couple years, what neighborhood would you be looking at? Ooh, man, I've just recently bought 4 properties in all of the above. So I would be number one. I'm always looking at South Austin. I think South Austin is still the place to be. I've been saying that for a long time. It's a lot of growth in there. That's just my take. All right, 78660. Let me add this to the screen so you can see what I'm seeing. Share screen, window, that one. Boom. All right, 78660. Am I on? Yep. Oh, I don't like that screen. Here we go, Mary. We'll get your comment there, Mary. So yeah, 78660, which is what, Round Rock? Down 9.4 for all, down 13% in price for new construction, existing home down 7.5% if you live in one of those areas. Mary says 78738. Let's gander over there. 787. Oh, wait, we were just there. 78738. Boom. I wish there was a faster way to do this. There's not. 3738. All right, Mary, 78738 is down 14% year over year from August to August. Existing homes are only down 7.6. New construction. Why are you doing that? New construction down 10%. Boom. 78734. She asked, you receive, Mary, just because you're so sweet. 11% down year over year. Now, again, it's all going to depend on the area you're at, the location, not the whole zip code is really going to be down. There's probably parts of it that are down really far. And since there's only 29 sales in that zip code, you're going to see and that's down 34% right? That's going to adjust the numbers. All these numbers are going to be skewed slightly because of that. So who do we get? 78665. Let's go the other direction. 78666. Ooh, don't want to be in that one. All right, 78665 down 6.8%. Existing home down 12%. That's no bueno. New construction's carrying 78665. Look at that, 9.4% up. That's pretty good. 9.4. What else we got? We got Round Rock, Carmel. Man, I'd love to talk about Carmel. Lakeside Meadows is what Aaron's selling. 78620. Geez, that's so far away. All right, 78620. I meant just so far away in the numbers. 78641. Kyle. Boom. 14% down, 14% down. New construction's only down 3%. 78640. 12%, 10%, 10%. Wow. Which one were we talking about here? 78620. 62820. Down 8%. Existing homes are up almost 3%. New construction's killing you up there. 17% down. That is crazy. Wow. Aaron says Brett 78660 is Lake Pflugerville. Aaron, is that 78734? All right. Alyssa, glad to have you. Alyssa, I did this guy, finance guy. Thank you, finance guy. I'm sure you've got more you want to ask. Come on, man. Oh, sorry, hit the wrong one. Sorry, I got to have somebody do this for me. Jeremy, do you ever touch on Temple area 786-502? Thanks for your hard work. Thank you. I have an agent friend that I always ask questions about that zip code. I don't know if it's going to be in ours. 78602. No. Oh yeah, here we go. Now, I don't know if these numbers are all going to be correct because there's multiple MLSs, but if you're talking about Temple 78602, down 17%, existing home down 23%, new homes down 5%. Again, you probably had a lot more sales, and this is only our MLS, so take these numbers with a grain of salt, but that kind of gives you an idea there. Apartments mean negative, hands down. Let's see what do you say here. Apartments are taking over Pflugerville area. I mean, that just means that it's going to be hard to find actual homes. There you go. No problem. No problem, Alyssa. Thanks for coming out. Okay. We're about an hour. Give me some more zip codes before I get out of here. Oh, 78669. Sorry about that, Dan. Travis settlement. 78. Oh, stage. There we go. 78669. My apologies for missing that earlier. It's hard to multitask. I got to look at the camera. I got to look at the screen. I got to look over here. I got to read the comments. My brain's in 9 places. People texting me. 78669. It's funny. No other realtor is going to give you this information or give it away for free. I do. You're welcome. 14% down for 78669. Median price though is 830. So that's pretty healthy. Look at the single family home down 11. Let's see, existing homes down 24%. Again, 15 sales will definitely skew the numbers. So, I mean, if you have a few homes that are low and a couple homes that are hot, There we go. Can you hear me now? Sorry about that. Lost audio. My bad. I see. I was like just going after it. Can you hear me now? Oh man, that sucks. All right. I was going after it. I literally gave all the best free information in the world right when my mic went out. Too bad. But what I was saying is you can't find a home in in this zip code. In fact, I was saying that I showed no this property right here to a client 2.99. Yeah. Sorry about that. I probably lost everybody. Audio's back, baby. All right, cool. All right. Give me another zip code. Manor. The guy want all the free information. All right. So what do we say? What's zip code? 78653. Trust me, I give all the best information to clients. The other day I was so frustrated in the video because I literally had somebody call me and was like, give me all this free information, send me a seller's disclosure. I basically told them to F off. I'm like, no, that's not how it works. All right, there you go. You're down a lot. 16%. The average is way down. Existing homes are way down. I hope that's the free information you wanted. So there you go. Drop a comment below. Like, comment, subscribe, reach out. We'll help you.